Hey y'all, happy Monday. It is Marketing Monday tonight, and I have an amazing conversation for you guys tonight. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the Super Bowl. All right, if you saw the Super Bowl last night, you may have some mixed feelings, but we're going to get into it. All right. And if you're looking at the title of my live this evening, you are also going to see we are going to be talking about the halftime show. All right. So, as we all know, the talks have been going around. Everybody has their say, so people have their opinions. It is what it is, right? And now it's up to us under this to decide on what to do with what we saw last night. All right, like if you feel like this was a great show, definitely put some in the comments. If you feel like it was a bad show, please let me know in the comments, right? Like give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. But either way, we're gonna break down what took place last night in the sense of this halftime show when it came to Bad Bunny. Okay, and of course you guys know me. I'm gonna break everything down to you in a marketing tactful way, strategically as I can, so that way whoever is out there, I'm excited. Whoever else is out there is trying to get some ideas on how they can make these same type of moves, even in their own process right now, in their own business right now, in their own niche right now, whatever brand that you are working on right now, you can do these same steps to be able to get your story out there to whoever is available and then reach as many people as you can. All right, you guys ready to get into it? Let's go. All right, so then first let me start with this pin. Did you like the halftime show? And I'm gonna do the thumbs up or down, which is going to be up or down. I guess I should say I like to start with up first. It's a mindset or down, right? Send, and then we're gonna pin that. Okay, boom, bet. So now whoever shows up, they can go ahead and make their comments. Okay, so now for those of you that are paying attention, you might be seeing this on YouTube later on because all my replays are not going to be found on not only YouTube, but you have to go through my Patreon to see it from YouTube. So if you catch me during these lives, please do so that we can interact with me. And then if not, you can just go to my Patreon right now. The replays are free, so you can jump on my free tier through Patreon, so you can see what we talked about, how I broke it down, all of that. Of course, stay tuned for clips and snippets later down in the week. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with. First of all, of course, we know the playoffs was against the Seahawks and the Patriots. All right, whichever one you're a fan of, you are also gonna feel some type of way about about last night's results. Okay, I actually stayed up for the whole entire game. The Patriots was slow. I ain't gonna lie, and it wasn't like they were. It was easy slow, but it was a tug of war in a sense. Like the defense on both sides was crazy aggressive. So it took some time for them to really get some steady points going in. And that's also saying when it came to the Seahawks finally making points, a lot of times they were punts. All right. And then, of course, after the second half, then they were able to get some touchdowns. But even that, it was tough. Right. So, but nonetheless, a lot of us, we may have got into it because of the game, but we really showed up because of the halftime show. All right. So, with that being stated, as if you have been paying attention, you have Mr. Bad Bunny. Okay, so with this particular individual, again, if you've been paying attention, all right, you will notice, of course, that he was the highlights of the show last night when it came to the halftime show. Now, how the halftime show presented itself is going to be based off of a lot of things, right? Of course, if you liked how it went down, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the world, of course, and also, again, if you're business minded like me, how you can make this fit for you and how you can ultimately change, and not change, but how you can use your story to relate to other people, especially future audience members. Okay, so that way they can be more, in a sense, trusting you. Because when you tell somebody your story, they want to relate to you. They want to be able to see themselves in you. They want to be able to say, okay, cool. So if they can do it, I can do it. All right. So this is where the storytelling of Bad Bunny's halftime show made a huge impact. Okay. It had everything to do with the timing. It had everything to do with the emotional connection, all the way down to the way it was filmed, as me being a videographer and paying attention to this type of stuff, even all the way down to, of course, because of where he's from, Puerto Rico, and how the cultural relations all took place. So let's start from the beginning instead of jumping all over the place. All right. So this is going to be basically how, if Bad Bunny can turn a 13-minute into a cultural moment, you can turn even something as simple as me doing a 60-minute live right now with you all into a brand moment. All right. So as we know, when he first got in, how he was able to connect everything that his culture is about into the halftime show. All right. So the beauty of this was, of course, he came in first and told everybody his real name, and not just, of course, his performer name. So everybody his real name, which connected a lot of people to themselves, right? People who are from Puerto Rico, people who are Spanish speaking, people who just know about the culture, all right, and are indebted into the culture, born into the culture. So that already lets you know, okay, this finna be this finna be it. Okay. So then of course they get in there, and now you're hearing a song. What are we hearing throughout the whole entire, all the songs that are playing? What is the collective language that is being played throughout the whole, all the songs? Oh wait. Spanish, Espanol, okay? Like to the T, okay? And the beauty of that, and I personally smiled throughout the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm all about, first of all, I love Spanish. I think it's a beautiful language. I live in an area with a lot of Spanish people. But because of that, I'm also wanting to learn more of Spanish, so that way I can connect more with people that are around me versus me having to just try to ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, this is what it is. At the end of the day. So, and then of course, going down from the language aspect, there were no subtitles. I've seen people post on threads like, "Oh my God, why they have no subtitles?" Like, would you really be paying attention to the subtitles at this point? Because it's not that long, and keep in mind, you could always put your closed captions on. Like, if they still do that and allow that type of shit, do that. I watched it on Peacock, so I wasn't really on like the ABC or none of that. I was just on a streaming network, and even then, I wasn't worried about subtitles. I want to see the visuals. I want to see how y'all was gonna film this. I want to see how this was gonna be set off with how everything was gonna be presented, right? So now, of course, now you also got the culture in a sense of dominoes. So there was a table of dominoes there. I saw the markets. Okay, I saw what was it, Coco Frio, right? I even saw the clothes. Okay, the bushes for alone, I already knew off the rip. I seen it when it was coming in there. I was like, oh yeah, those are people. Those are people. Like, those are fucking people. That's crazy, right? But they were there, and I was ready for them to get up and dance and stuff. But then they didn't move, right? But it was cool for what it needed to be, because it was a scenery. Like, he turned the whole football field to Puerto Rico. You felt like you was there, all right? That automatically grabs your attention. That automatically makes you think, oh shit, where did we just get transported to? All right, the clothes, the dancing, the connections, even the people that he had featured in it, all the way down to the place he had featured in it. Of course, you saw Cardi. I saw Jessica Alba after the fact, which I was surprised about, because I was like, that's honey forever to me. Okay, what this meant, it had many different reasons as to what was going on and what was officially taking place. All right, so because, of course, and this is my perspective, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people picked up on this as well. Keep in mind, we are in the time, a day and age where ICE right now is heavy in the streets. All right, they are splitting up families. Right, so because of that, it was the timing of this. So it gives you an idea as well for yourself, because of course what's going on in this day and age. It made this be even more important, because now we're looking at, okay, this is happening. People are probably feeling like they're not being heard. They're definitely not being seen. They're being taken advantage of, also being tossed to the side. And it's a huge problem for them, right? Whether they're coming into this country to start a brand new life, maybe they're coming into this country because they are trying to get away from something that is more detrimental for them. This is pivotal for them right now. For me, what I like to say is that last year was for us. And when I mean us, I mean us, right? And this year is for the Latinos, okay? Latinos needed a voice. They needed somebody to come out and speak for them. So that was the relatable part for this whole thing, right? It really hit them in a different way. And because of that, it allowed them to really celebrate, right? To finally have a moment to celebrate. I even remember looking at the actual the stadiums, and a good amount of people were in it, right? But then of course you got people who don't. Of course, you don't know the words, you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to really move, but you're also seeing what's taking place, and you're excited about it because of what's taking place. So there's also that to look into, right? So it's not to where it was just isolating. It was a place for everybody to come together. The message came out very, very clear. Okay, it was, of course, pride, resilience, and love across all of the nations, right? And that's with a conglomeration of the different nationalities. In this case, of the Latino community, being able to come together. We all are a part of this nation. We all have our part in it to where it is beneficial for the U.S. of A, right? And then and hence the united part, right? People forget the united part, but that's here or there when it comes to what. Now, for me, what I want to get into, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with knowing his story before even the Grammys. We know he won the Grammy. He won the Grammys, and then of course people doing this trend now, 2016 to 2026. 2016, apparently he was a grocer, right? Somebody working in the grocery stores, right, bagging groceries or at the register, right? And so now 10 years later, he done won some Grammys, and it's definitely to where 10 years later, who would have thought that he would be out here and be in a place to help others in a sense of letting people know that this can happen for you as well. Like you can really change your whole entire life from wherever you are right this second. It does not have to be anything specific that you are doing or being a part of, but the fact that you can start off as somebody who worked at a grocery stores, for example, and make it to where now you are Grammy winning. You are now hosting halftime shows at the Super Bowl. At the Super Bowl. Could you imagine that? Like, that's a story that people would like to relate to, right? From a marketing aspect. And the reason why I say that specifically is because of the fact that I am the type of person that I will look at other people and then I'll say, oh my God, I see what they went through. I see what they had to deal with. And now I feel more inclined to know that if they can do it, I can do it too. So that's a situation to where, because I have seen it for myself and I see where I'm at, I want to make sure that I have seen it being done. It's like the saying where people always say, don't don't believe people just because it hasn't been done. You can show them that it can be done. That way you can help to prove to others that they too can also make the accomplish the impossible, right? To be able to accomplish the impossible. A lot of us are afraid of being able to even try out one thing because we feel like we're not going to be able to really reach that goal. And we feel like that goal is so far ahead of us that instead of us trying to achieve it, instead we just say, forget it, it's never going to happen. And we give up on it. We quit. We quit before we even had a chance to stay on it. So when it comes to something as simple as this man right here reaching his goal of winning a Grammy, reaching his goal of being at the Super Bowl, this is major. This is not something to ignore and just say, oh, and it could happen to anybody. When at the end of the day, it can't, but you can make sure that it can happen for you if you put in that work, if you show up every day and you make it happen, right? So this is where, because of his story, I take heed to what is taking place of you too can achieve the impossible, right? You too can achieve the incredible. Okay, so this is one thing that I definitely loved about the story in itself. So that's just that part, right? So then we can get into now talking about again. I already mentioned about the timing when it comes to the ICE situations that are taking place, and now of course you have somebody who is Latino, who is in the forefront, who is now doing his thing in his own way for his own culture, and is making a huge statement. Okay, so now we can talk about the emotional connection. The emotional connection in this case is whether or not you agree with it. Okay, so that depends on, hey, if you're looking like, oh, this didn't make any sense for me. Oh, I feel like he was doing too much, or why was it all in English and in Spanish? Why he didn't do it in a different language? Like, these types of questions are depending on which side of the platform you're looking at, it could deem whether you're a hater or somebody who really truly loves the message, and now you want to be a part of it. You want to more than likely, feel it and talk about it in that same way. So a lot of us, for the most part, at least for me, I'm like, yo, I'm happy. I'm happy that he was able to come out and do something that it it gravitated towards a lot of people, and because of that they understood it and he felt it, right? So that's my perspective. I'm like, yo, I'm not tripping about it, because at the end of the day I know what this is doing in the long run. Okay, so something as simple as when he handed the Grammy to the kid, you know how many of us would love to be a part of something like that? You know how many of us would do wants to pass a Grammy down to our kid, to the little version of us? Do you realize the impact that creates, right? Ultimately, so you wanna it's bigger than what we're doing right now. It's the small version of us that's being affected, as well as the younger versions coming up behind us that's also being affected. So this is not a situation to where it's just, oh, he just can show as if he's doing this said thing. It's more so, hey, you can do this said thing too, right? Hey, love, how you doing, Stacks? I see you up here, girl. I'm trying to get on here and make this happen because Instagram was giving me issues. I guess it was about the Bad Bunny halftime show. They didn't care for it. Anyway, did you like it? Did you watch it? What's your thoughts? What's your feedback? You already know I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. It don't matter. All right. So, but I was definitely talking about how it was connecting into basically storytelling. Like everybody got a story to tell, and everybody needs to hear whatever your story may be. Right. So, what I took from it was definitely the fact that I love that he did his big one without caring what anybody else thought about it. Because there was a lot of people that didn't care about it, but it made no difference, right? So that was something that I definitely attested to, because we look at ourselves and we're like, yo, people don't really know. People don't really want to know where I come from. Like it doesn't. They don't. They not gonna be able to relate to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Stack said she loved it. His message was impactful. Absolutely, the visuals for sure, for sure. And that was one part I'm actually gonna get to, and how he was filming everything, and that made an impact because it made a statement. You know what I mean? It wasn't just here's a camera here, here's a camera there, here's a camera here. It was following him throughout the whole entire scene and being able to really see everything that he's touching, everything that he's coming across, things that he probably experienced on his own. Other people have been experiencing when it comes to being a part of Puerto Rico or just being in the Latino community altogether. So that was monumental. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I did not need to know Spanish, but I promise you this: next year I am going to learn it. Okay, starting this year I am going to be fluent, because I'm not playing no games. Like, I want to make sure that I understand. Plus, keep in my area, there's a lot of Spanish people here, and I don't like having to always try to act like because I don't know a whole lot of Spanish. Now I'm kind of speaking in a different tongue. Like, I want to make sure that I can really speak to people fluently enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy thing too. Like, my dad speaks fluent Spanish. Granted, I got everything to do with my granddad because he resided in Cuba for a long ass time, but that's also another conversation that I need to have with the man, because I'm not part Cuban, but being that Haiti is not too far from, we're right there to the Dominican Republic, it's a lot of connections. You see what I'm saying? So that's a lineage, and that's a story that my dad needs to tell in his own light whenever he can do that. But even something as simple as using this man's performance last night to really give ourselves permission to say, you know what, I have a story to tell as well. I want to be able to share that and connect with other people. Like, there's a lot of people that don't know my story, right? And because of that, not to say that there's places where I felt as if people wouldn't relate to it. I just didn't put it in the forefront. But now I'm really paying attention to the fact that having a story, especially something like mine, right, is it could be touching for others, right? And I've told my story in a few ways because a lot of people didn't know my coming out story, for example, right? And again, this is to give you guys an example, right? So if I were to give an example, this would be that, all right? So even though my story starts before my coming out story, it goes into how it really hits in that particular section of my life, just because of the change and the pivot that I had to take for myself. So a short introduction. Parents are from Haiti, immigrated here, straight here, went straight to Jersey, right? Then from there, they had 3 of us, right? I'm the oldest, okay? We moved, and I ended up in Rhode Island for a few years, and we moved down here as far as Georgia. Been here since I've been 9 years old. I have not moved nowhere since. In between, during hard times is what there was, but I always came back down to Georgia. All right. Fast forward to the age of 17, I was outed, okay, by my pastor's daughter, who ended up finding me on Black Planet back at the time. And then from there, it was a shit show for 2 years. Got kicked out from my parents' house, got kicked out from the church because I was heavy into church at the time. And they basically put me on blast, embarrassed me in front of everybody, and told them, if you don't want to be in this way, then I am definitely going to put you on blast as well and make sure that you change your life. Like be straight, like on command. But anyway, I left it. I didn't care. I had gone through homelessness a few times. Okay. At the time I was in a relationship, so I tried to do everything I can to kind of keep the relationship. Went from house to house, couch to couch, state to state, staying with family members that I thought cared about me, but ultimately they also had ulterior motives, which in the end, I ended up being homeless one more time, and until I moved in with a couple of friends. And the crazy thing about it, this is why I don't really show a side of I'd rather black than this and that, because at the end of the day, love is love, okay? And the reason I say that is because the people that took me in were white. All right. I love that he mentioned Haiti when naming all the countries. Baby, I eat shit. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. When I heard that, my Haiti symbols went up. Like, you talk about me? You know what I'm saying? So that, again, it was that relatable part. So now, fast forward until divorced. I am a divorcee. Okay. Had to start my life over about 2-3 different times. The last time was in 2018, and I am happy to say that I did it with an amazing woman that I am with now, who also had her own story and own things that she needs to share on her own time. And I own my own agency. Like, really? Like, I do videos and photography, and I get flued out, like, for real. And little old me, 17-year-old me, 16-year-old me, who was trying to hide in the closet still, by the way, was never ever gonna imagine this, ever. But I'm here. I'm living my truth. I'm sharing my story. I'm helping other people, and I'm out here going live and talking to people that don't even really know me like that. That is just passing through. But then they get a glimpse, and then later on they might remember. Oh yeah, I remember she used to do these lives every week. Barely anybody showed up, but the ones that did show up, they were there. They got something. You know what I mean? And that means a lot to me. So I'm like, that hit a lot of different avenues for me, and I was too excited to talk about it tonight, right? So it made a really, really, really big impact. I ultimately feel like I need to hear more people's stories, bro. I really do, and I am a big believer in talking about people's stories when it comes to like Steve Harvey. I can tell you word for word what is going on with other people's stories. That's why I'm like, yeah, I need to do some of my own, because there's not a lot of Haitian American stud photographer videographers who have gone through what I've gone through and still be able to live the life that I live. Because if you knew the stuff that I did outside of this, like, not just to say for it, but the not, you know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody knows, but it's also not for everybody to know, because everything got their own avenue. So I'm just like, bruh did his thing, bruh. Brother did his big one. And I love the fact that he stayed true to himself, because we see all day, every day, how people are really just selling themselves. You know what I mean? Selling a version of themselves because they feel like people are going to gravitate to that versus just being true to who you are. And we underestimate the value of, if I just stay being who I am, I don't have to do anything else. Like, that's going to be enough. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be more than enough, because you can't replicate this. You know what I'm saying? Him baby, that was good for me too. Say him passing the Grammys to his younger self definitely hit different. Exactly. Because, as you know, the trend been going on around here lately, right? 2016, back in 2016, right? Just a few minutes ago before I started my live, I was looking at videos that I made 11 years ago on YouTube, and I was talking about motivational stuff then. But back then, I ain't gonna say I looked a mess, but I wasn't looking the cleanest, you know what I'm saying? But I was making it do what it do. I didn't care. Even then was showing up 11 years ago. So the fact that this man came from where he came from and was able to pass that along to his, I'll say, his younger self, the generations behind us, you know what I'm saying, even the generation behind them, to also be able to see like, yo, you can do this, you can make this happen, right? And that's something that I feel a lot of us needed, bro. With everything that's going on in this world today, I mean, to fucking day, right? Leading up, especially leading up to yesterday, I think everybody needed that moment. I always say, last year, Kendrick was for us. Was for us. This year, yeah, we needed that. We needed that. Latinos needed somebody that can really see them and celebrate them instead of the negativity that we're hearing on TV. And it's like, it's so much more than what you see on the news, bro. It's so much more. Like, my first crush was a Hispanic girl. Like, let's be for real. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful, beautiful storytelling when it comes to that. Let me see what else did I have really on here, because I think I went off. Oh well, marketing perspective. So for anybody else, right? You might say, you know what? How can I tell my story? This is something, the same thing. I kind of just gave you guys a little bit of spill about me. It's the same thing you can do for you, because I will say this. I connect a lot more when I see people's stories of where they came from. And not to say I need to see the struggle, but I like to see that there was one. It doesn't have to be one, but I like to see that there was one, because that tells me that you came from somewhere that it wasn't always the easiest. It wasn't given to you. And now you've turned nothing into something. So I'll give you an example. And Stacks, you might know as well. You might have seen it. Sage the Body, right? She ain't on here. Like, we not buddies like that, but I know of her and she knows of me, right? So Sage the Body, as you know, is bad in the definition of the word. Okay. I seen a post that she had made where she had talked about where she came from, how she started, right? And just seeing the videos of her before she really got to being who she is today, it was eye opening, because I wasn't expecting to see a Sage about it beforehand. Like, I'm thinking you bad all the time. Like, I'm thinking you had this when you got out the womb. You know what I'm saying? Probably over exaggerating, but nonetheless, I'm just thinking that she was always had it. All right. So being able to see that growth is like, okay, cool. Even for somebody like me, I want to get back, and I am actually in pole. I got pole class tomorrow, and I've missed a week or so, but we gonna make it happen. Wanting to get better, right? Wanting to get better and wanting to show back up and wanting to improve. That's something that's very, very important to me. So to be able to see where somebody else has come from, and not to say the same body type as mine or even the same persona as mine, but the fact that just where they came from and how much they've grown, that goes to show that I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have that person that we look up to and be like, because you did it, I can do that shit too. And that makes us want to keep pushing and want to keep getting better. So this is where I feel like, even for you, Stacks, or anybody else that's watching, to be able to tell your stories and whatever that capacity may be. So you start off letting people know where you've come from, right? Why did you even get into this thing? Why did you get into pole? Why did you get into music? You know, why did you decide that you want to pick up a camera? Okay. And then you talk about what was the reason you decided to feel like you needed to solve a problem. Okay. For me, even in the midst of all of my personal either accolades or obstacles, I still felt when I picked up my camera, I wanted to show and help Pole Studios at the time to really be seen in the forefront. Because at the time, social media wasn't not only picking up, but content creation was picking up heavy. But it wasn't in a place to where you saw a lot of content creators come from Pole Studios. Because at the end of the day, it was the stripper stigma, right? So because I seen the need, I was like, yo, let me help y'all out a little bit. So I'm going and do some video capturing of some classes. Then I started doing some pole shows. Then I started understanding more about taking the pictures and the importance of both being put together. And then it was on from there. And now I'm seeing it popping up everywhere. And I'm happy. I'm glad that it is, because I need y'all to understand what it means to put yourselves first and to be your own personal brand. Because at the end of the day, whether you know it or not, Stacks, when I see your name on a flyer, I'm happy to come see you. Okay? Because it's like that. It's like that. When you have seen somebody and you've watched where they've come from, and you've watched even 1, 2 shows, because if I've seen about 2 or 3 shows from you, eventually I start learning, okay, cool, yep, that's her move. I already know, I'm expecting it, because I already know you about to fuck it up. Okay, so that's the type of vibe that I want you and whoever else is in the same atmosphere is wanting to give, because you have to. People, you don't know how many people are in the room looking for you. I'd be surprised when I get done performing or when I get done recording, how many people come up to me like, yo, I was so happy you showed up. I wish I knew you was gonna be here. Like it be throwing me off, but I'd be happy that I be there and I can hear it, because it's like, okay, you know what? Don't turn this opportunity down next time. Keep coming. If they keep inviting you, keep showing up. Make it happen. Do what you need to do. Okay? And then ultimately from there, that's where that community is being created. Okay? So you got your origin story, all right, where you come from, why you do this. Then it's transformation, right? Because it's like, yo, there's a reason for this. I'm not seeing enough of this. I need more of this. Let's figure out how we can make this happen. And then building that community. People that are coming for you, now you can make them talk to you, talk to each other, make them link them up with other people that they can benefit from, and resources and the networking all the way around. It's more than little old us, right? Okay. Stack's comment said, she said anytime she gets buys a video, she always grades it toward with what I give. And I appreciate that. And I'm also sorry for some future people who might not necessarily meet those standards. It just is what it is. I ensure that I make sure that I give great quality work as much as I can. Like, don't gas me about too much, because sometimes I know even for myself, I'd be like, yo, Jay, you really could have did something different with this. You know what I'm saying? But this is where sometimes I feel like I over deliver just to ensure that y'all always got something. You know what I'm saying? So even if it may be one thing that might not be up to par, I might be like, oh no, oh, well, I got this backup. Don't worry. I'm gonna make sure this gonna hit so you can still get what you need to get. All right. So I appreciate that. And then that hopefully that also makes them have to get on their shit, because I'm tired of seeing crap, and I'm tired of messing with my baby's quality too. Because baby, if I'm not there at an event and y'all giving her crap stuff, and I'm making sure that her shit is being seen and is being paid for, don't play with me. This is you're messing with this house's food at this point, okay? Because he recognizing you, just absolutely. I have to. Like, I can't. I've learned. I'll say that I've learned, right? Same thing. Like, I didn't always know. I had to figure it out, and then I had to mess up along the way and had to have people to kind of tell me like, yo, Jay, you messed up right here, and then having to do it better, right? And that's really what it comes down to. Oh, that criticism is a mug. I ain't gonna lie to you. My early days, I was not the best with it. I can say I would cry about it, but I took it hard. I was like, fuck you, and da, da, da. Now I'm just like, okay, cool, bet. Because ain't nothing for me to learn. It's free to learn. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff that I appreciate, and that's why I keep showing up the way that I do. So thank you for that. All right. So now they got me doing some other stuff in here. Drop in the chat what you want people to feel. Oh yeah. Well, this is something you guys can put on yourselves as well. All right. So now, depending on what you want to do for your page, your own personal brand, letting people see that particular side of you, what you want people to feel, what you want them to see when they come to your page. Keep in mind, I did just check out your page too, Stack. I don't know how I ended up on your page. I was on Instagram. Oh, the shoot that you did with LCN, which was bad, by the way. Big ups to Ashley. She be doing a big one over there. Ashley and Brittany. And just going down the lines and being able to see that and seeing, again, the growth. So I love how you've been laying out your page. Don't think I don't know this shit. I see everything. Y'all might not be my client when it comes to like marketing, but I see everything. So I pay attention to what you guys post and how you guys are laying the things out. So big ups to you on that one. Lushy Love, how you doing? I see you. Girl, did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you go to the halftime? Or did you watch the halftime? Not go to it. I think we all wish we went to it. I seen some people that were actually the Bushes. I would have died to be a Bush at that halftime show. That's all I gotta say on that. So yeah. But yeah, even I would go into explaining about her, of course, trying to put Lushy into it now, but I'm gonna have her come and check out the replay later. But nonetheless, so tonight's conversation, because I was trying to do this on Instagram, and they were just messing up. Like the connection was just bad. So I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna show up on TikTok, and Universe has an interesting type of way of saying, you know what? You wanted to be on here anyway, so here you go, make it happen. And here I am. So without further ado, as you guys know, I'm gonna give some type of a call to action, right? Call to actions are very important to me because I feel like if you don't do that, what are you guys here for? It's one thing for me to just talk your heads off and just have a whole conversation, but it's like, what is the purpose, right? So it's one thing, obviously, to talk about the marketing aspect, understanding storytelling, and how Bad Bunny did that thing last night, and how you can also utilize it for yourselves. Now is going into what is that I have to offer you, all right? You haven't seen a halftime. You haven't seen a halftime show. Lushy. Lushy. Go to YouTube. It's like 13 minutes, I think. 13 minutes long. Go watch that thing. Let me know what you think. We'll get into it later. We probably we got the group chat. I'll probably be in there talking about it. And we'll go from there. I ain't gonna say I don't like football. I'll watch it. I haven't been into sports as I usually be. Now that I'm into business all the time, I don't have time. I used to be into basketball heavy, but even that I had to take a seat because I'm like, it's a lot to keep up with those games, bro. So I just get the highlights after. But you don't have to like football to watch the halftime show. Just watch the halftime show. That's all. And then let me know what you think. Okay, well, you can sew and watch the halftime show, Lushy. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to check in later on that. But nonetheless, what I can do for you guys. So right now I have an ebook that is available. Okay. But now for real, I do have an ebook, right? I'm trying to do better with promoting it. Because I taught you guys and give you guys so much free game as much as I can, it's one of those things of I have to remember to tell you guys to buy my damn thing. Okay. It is an ebook that is about, what did I call it? How to be a paid videographer, right? From smartphone to DSLR success. All right. And it's simple, even though it's very general. Like it's a very, very general ass ebook. Meaning you don't have to learn how to be, you don't have to want to be a paid videographer for this because you can also be a content creator, right? Basically what you can do is you can utilize the book to understand angles, understand lighting, right? Understand certain types of apertures. And then when I mean apertures, I mean you can blur up backgrounds if you have a certain type of camera, right? As you guys know, portrait mode when it comes to iPhone if you're doing pictures, right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of you also play around with this when it comes to just content creating at home or your favorite studio, whatever that may be. But ultimately, I have created an ebook that connects everything from you starting off with your phone and doing things with your phone. Because when I started getting paid for pole shows, I was doing it with my phone. Jada's first Lush Escapade show, I recorded that with my phone. To this day, that is my favorite show and how I recorded it. It turned out amazing. And honestly, I prefer to record with my phone. It's a lot easier. It's lighter. It automatically adjusts. I don't have to worry about adjusting anything on my own. Whereas with the camera, you have to learn the settings. But I also walk you through all of that shit on there. So the ebook is something that you definitely might need to get if you're wanting to get into more of understanding how to use your camera and ultimately getting into upgrading into a DSLR camera so that way you can have even more high quality content to be able to do whatever it is you want to do and get paid for it. All right. I do talk about that in the book as well. I show you guys how to monetize on it. I am a person who is not afraid to tell you to get yours. Get paid for what it is that you do. Everything that you're doing right now, I can find a way to tell you how to get paid for it. I promise you. You can tell me the talent, I'll tell you how to get paid. Okay, so I got ways how you can get paid through a subscription model. I got ways how you can get paid by selling your products, like i.e. me doing this right now. And how to get paid doing services. I have been in the service game since 2008 and stayed getting paid doing it. So it is something that you definitely need to monetize on and understand how to monetize on it. Lushy said, yeah, I'm surprised how heavy the gimbal rig was in the Bahamas. It was heavy. It was heavy, right? So that's why I'm just like, even to this day, and keep in mind, I got carpal tunnel. I had the surgery on this hand, all right? And even to this day, these fingers still lock up. But I have to keep my hands warm enough. I got to work out so that they can stay active and not rigid. But at the end of the day, if I'm booked for something, I got to go out. I got to show it. I got to go and do the work because that's important. So get the ebook, y'all. Get the ebook. Support. If you just like what I'm talking about and you know somebody that wants to get into the game, you know somebody that is probably looking into understanding, I'm also offering you guys to do a one-on-one session with me. So if you get the ebook, you can get the session half off. That way we can go through the ebook together and help you understand how you can use it for yourself to be better, right? To be better, to get money, to get paid, to get clients. I help you do all of that. All right. And don't let the numbers fool you. I'm not a person that cares about me having a big ass following, but I can definitely help you get one. If you guys already know and been paying attention, one of my biggest clients to this day is Jada LaPearl. And I know a lot of people that who are in here, Cora knows, Lushy knows, like the stuff that I've been having her do, helping her do, putting things together. It's all her. That's in the content, but it's how it's distributed. That's basically things that we have put together and a plan that we put together and how she can promote and market herself. And ultimately now she has made well over millions of views on multiple platforms, hit well over 10,000, 20,000, over 100,000 followers on certain other platforms. So this can be done. This can be done. And I got a lot of shit to show y'all, but right now, I'll start with the ebook. It's $20. $20. You can't beat that. It's definitely on my link tree. If you get a chance to get to that, let's go there, click on it, buy it on Gumroad. Let me know when you bought it. We can talk about it and we can go from there. All right. I believe that's it.